Every morning, before the sun had fully warmed the streets, Michael sat on the same cold sidewalk outside a small neighborhood bakery. His coat was torn, his shoes were falling apart, and beside him lay a piece of cardboard with only 4 words written on it. "Anything helps. Thank you." Hundreds of people passed him every day. Some stared for a second before looking away. Others crossed the street to avoid him. A few dropped spare coins into his cup without saying a word. To everyone else, Michael was just another homeless man. Invisible. But every morning, one little girl did something no one else did. She smiled. 8-year-old Lily walked past the bakery every day on her way to school, holding her mother's hand. "Good morning," she said cheerfully. The first time, Michael didn't answer. He wasn't being rude. He had simply forgotten how to respond to kindness. The second day, she smiled again. The third day, Michael quietly whispered, "Good morning." It was the first conversation he had shared with anyone in weeks. From that day on, Lily never walked past without waving. She didn't see dirty clothes. She didn't see a homeless man. She saw a lonely person who deserved to be noticed. One freezing afternoon, dark clouds covered the sky, and icy rain began falling. Most people hurried home. Michael stayed where he was, shivering beneath a broken umbrella. Lily stopped. Without thinking twice, she took off the warm knitted scarf around her neck, a scarf her grandmother had made for her before she passed away. She gently wrapped it around Michael's shoulders. Her mother looked surprised. "Lily, that's your favorite scarf." The little girl simply smiled. "He looks colder than I do." Michael's hands trembled as he touched the scarf. No one had given him something valuable in years. Not because they had to, but because they cared. The next morning, Lily handed Michael a small paper bag with half of her lunch inside. Hidden beneath the sandwich was a folded piece of paper. Michael slowly opened it. In childish handwriting, it read, "Dear Mr. I don't know your story, but I hope today makes you smile. I think you're stronger than you believe." For a long moment, he couldn't breathe. Tears rolled down his face. Months earlier, after losing his wife to cancer, then his job, and finally his home, Michael had convinced himself that his life no longer mattered. But somehow, an 8-year-old girl believed otherwise. That night, instead of sleeping on the sidewalk, Michael walked into a local homeless shelter. For the first time in months, he asked for help. The journey wasn't easy. He attended counseling, found temporary housing, and accepted a small maintenance job through a community program. Whenever life felt too difficult, he reached into his pocket and unfolded Lily's note. Those few handwritten words reminded him that if one little girl could still see hope in him, maybe he wasn't beyond saving after all. Nearly 6 months later, Lily walked toward the bakery as usual, but the familiar corner was empty. She looked around, worried. Then the bakery door opened. Out walked Michael. His beard was neatly trimmed. His clothes were clean, and he wore a bakery apron with flour on his sleeves. He smiled wider than she had ever seen. Holding out a warm loaf of bread, he said softly, "You gave me much more than food that day. You gave me a reason to believe tomorrow could be different." Lily hugged him without saying a word. Sometimes, the greatest miracles don't begin with money, power, or fame. Sometimes, they begin with a child who refuses to let a stranger feel invisible. And for one forgotten man, that single act of kindness became the first step toward a brand new life.